Welcome to the 310 podcast, where we focus on clean eating, fitness, and the mindset it takes to live a happy, healthier, more prosperous life. And I'm here with Alex from the 310 Nutrition Community, and I'm Tim, the founder of the 310 Nutrition Community. I really look forward to this podcast with you, Alex. This is fun. This is our first one doing together, first in many.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited.
So Alex is our resident registered dietitian in the one of our resident registered dietitians or nutritionists in the 310 Nutrition Community. For those of you that are not in the 310 Nutrition Community, you can get there. I would even recommend that you pause this podcast right now and go to 310podcast.com and join our social communities. That's where you're going to be able to get into the 310 free Facebook group, where you're going to have access to Alex, Annie, Sierra, Teresa, all of our registered nutritionist dietitians, as well as 200,000 people in their purpose-driven individuals that are living healthier, more prosperous, happier lives through what they consume. People that really understand what you take in is what you give out, not just in your body, but in your mind. And that's really what the 310 lifestyle and the 310 community is about. We really focus on that mostly in the community. Really excited to have people like Alex in there who have the expertise. Alex, is actually, you're a fitness champion now.
Yeah, I actually just got my pro card in the PMBA. It's the Natural Bodybuilding Association. So when I say natural, it's like drug-free. So I was able to win the last competition.
Dude, that is awesome. And a lot of that has to do with the subject of this podcast today, which is what sugar is doing to you. A lot of people don't even really know all the dangers of sugar.
Yeah, and it's very, very impactful on your health negatively,
Yeah, totally. And I mean, we obviously know that sugar puts on fat, promotes diabetes, and even fuels cancer cells. I mean, it's really that bad for you. A lot of people don't even really know what it's doing to them.
And a lot of the problem comes with the fact that they don't know that they're actually eating added sugars, because there's, even in savory foods, what makes things more palatable, tasty, what you find tasty is the added sugar that we put in there. Even, for example, like tomato sauce, it becomes more acidic, and any chef will tell you that if it becomes more acidic, what do? You add sugar and it becomes more palatable.
Sugar in everything. That's why in the 310 community, we say if it's in a package, it's guilty till proven innocent, meaning it's guilty for not being healthy until proven innocent. It's not like when you're in the vegetable aisle, if it's from the earth, it's likely good for you. But if it's in a package or comes from a manufacturing plant and not from a whole plant like a veggie, it's probably not good for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we love to focus on what we consume in the community, and that's the big thing. When we first met, you were talking to me about what your real passion was in you're a registered dietitian.
I'm a registered dietitian, so what I do is I do focus on chronic illness related to diet, and we're talking about metabolic syndrome, we're talking about diabetes, we're talking about heart disease, hypertension, and and things of that nature. And I like to combat that with medical nutrition therapy and fitness, weight management, exercise, obviously, everything that I do in my life today. And it actually started when I actually went to college. I started off in nursing. I am Filipino. All Filipinos that I know are nurses, and then it switched to business, and then we had an economic downturn. I didn't even know that you can get a degree in nutrition at the time, believe it or not.
Wow.
And I was going through the catalog at UNLV. I went to UNLV here in Las Vegas, and that's when I found it. The only thing consistent in my life at the time has been health and fitness. I wanted the perfect body, so might as well try to go on to that. I ended up going all the way, and I wanted to be a clinical dietitian. I wanted to work in the hospital, wear the coat, be an authority in that measure and change lives, But then I quickly realized that nobody in the hospital is there because they want to see me. They are there because of their condition. They're there because they had a heart attack. And if you spend 20, 30 minutes with me in the hospital, you're not going to learn what you need to learn. You're going to leave still going to KFC or or
Totally.
McDonald's or things like that, and going for the convenient foods. So that's when I went private practice, and everybody, 100% of the people who wanted to change, or who saw me wanted to change, trying to get more of an impact. And that's what I love about 310, and that's why I'm with you, is because the impact that I can make on the community is going to be a lot greater than what I would in the hospital.
Yeah, one-on-one versus hundreds of thousands of people you're affecting right now. I remember we talked about that, and you really enjoyed the engagement and really helping so many people. And
exactly.
That's the big thing about the 310 community is we're a purpose-driven community where our whole corporate staff and all of our dietitians, nutritionists, that really focused around helping a lot of people, and all the value you're bringing the community has been amazing. So thank you for that.
No, thank you.
So
thank
you.
And
on the subject about what sugar's really doing to you. So really, it's obviously, I think it's no secret anymore that things that say fat-free on them actually are making you fat, right? They're loaded with sugar. Tell me a little bit about that.
So before we used to think that when it comes to the science in nutrition, it's new and it's changing. So before, fat was the culprit. Then carbohydrates are the culprit. Sugar, but when we went to the low fat side, and we still are, you still want it palatable. You still want to be able to enjoy the food, and the people are not going to put products out there that are going to be tasteless and crappy just because they're going to take the fat out. They have to add things to make it the same as they were with the fat.
And the fat isn't what's actually making you fat. The salmon, the avocado, all those high fat coconut. That's not actually what's making you fat.
It's the sugar that they put into it to actually take out out the fat.
Isn't that amazing that what we used to think was used to think fat-free or sugar wasn't making you fat or fats were making you fat. But it's funny how what we thought were healthy actually aren't healthy. And what we thought aren't healthy, now we're finding are healthy. And there's so much more information now. And I think a lot of it comes to what the next podcast is going to be about. Capitalism really infiltrated our food system.
Yeah, because the agenda is different. It's not for public health. It's
profit.
For profit, exactly.
It's about making food that has long shelf life, cheap to make, and it has a lot of preservatives and all of the things that make it so it can sit on the shelf. I mean, it's really messed our food industry up.
Yeah, and it's because it's cheap, because they can it's like a magic trick. You're gonna say, oh, we're taking out the fat, but you don't realize that we're putting in a bunch of this crap in there to make it better. But yeah, it's low fat, but the high sugar.
And you said something about palatable too. I think what's happened too is through this addiction of sugar and all this food, people's palates have changed. Because I know I love my food for a different reason. I love colorful food. I love greens and oranges and reds and all the beautiful things that come in vegetables, fish and lean meats. To me, this is beautiful. But what happens is people get used to all this processed food and this junk out there, and all of a sudden these beautiful foods aren't what they like anymore.
Those foods are actually already sweet. But the added sugars that we've gotten so used to have desensitized our palates and made us want things that are sweeter. So now it's actually changing our perception of food, and we want things just sweeter and sweeter. And that goes to like the sugar substitutes as well. They're actually 10 times, 20 times sweeter than actual...
sucralose.
Yeah, the sucralose, exactly. It's so much more sweeter that it's desensitizing you even more, making you want to add sugar, want that sweeter taste. And what's now, not that... What's actually sweet, they're thinking is pretty bland now.
So and what's crazy is that when you really get your palate the way that it should be, a healthy way, you don't like that sweet stuff anymore. I remember when I cut out sugar and I was like, drink coffee black. Like it was like, I just couldn't even imagine, where's my cream and sugar? But now I could never put sugar in coffee. So it's your actual palate changes. Can you imagine if you went to a part of the world where people are still eating from the earth? Let's just say you go into Australia and the outback, and where they're eating real stuff from the earth, right? Meats and veggies, and you give them sugar, they're gonna be like, "What is this?"
Yeah, exactly. And it's gonna be disgusting almost. It's like too sweet. It's like a shock to your system. Now, if I were to have like a soda or anything like that, it would just be extremely sweet. Even now, like things what are supposed to be savory, like if you were gonna do like baked beans or something like that.
Yeah,
you know, it's still like extremely sweet if you were to get it from anything that you didn't prepare yourself. You know.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. One thing too that I always say, sugar. There's a lot. If you Google addiction to sugar, or you really look at sugar, is literally an addicting substance.
There are studies to show that it has effects on the brain. You know, that's going to promote the addiction, like cocaine. You know, because it actually hits. Yeah. It fires the same neurons and the sensors in the brain that cocaine does.
So we talk about in the community here I am one person too, that as much as my palate has changed, and I do love foods for different reasons. I love food for what it's doing for my body. I love how it tastes. It's different than these fancy restaurants that we're around here, where people love foods like their lobster and their hollandaise sauce full of butter, and then lots of sugar in a lot of these, like our barbecue sauce. I learned to love food when it's real clean and what it's doing for my body. But one thing that we've learned in the 310 nutrition community that's really putting weight on people is food is an addiction. Not where sugar is like crack compared to like processed foods and bad carbs, because there's bad carbs do the same thing as sugar, right? Like white carbs and
exactly.
It basically turned
it's empty calories. You know, it actually makes you even more hungry. You know, so if you were to actually stick to whole foods and stick to ingredients that are whole foods, you wouldn't need to count calories.
No, exactly.
You know, you will eat enough vegetables, enough fiber, enough calories that's going to keep you satiated and give you the energy that you need throughout the day. So what sugar does is that because it's empty, it makes you want to eat more. You know, it makes you want to eat more, and that's the vicious cycle, that you just keep on eating more because you keep on taking in empty calories. You're not getting satiated. You're not getting full. You're not getting the nutrients that you need, and then you're just going to keep on eating. There's actually a study that showed they separated two groups of children, right? And they had they gave whole oranges and then to one group, and then they gave oranges that they need to juice and drink.
Yeah.
You know, so one side, the ones that juiced the oranges and drank it, were still looking for breakfast. Whereas when you ate the whole fruit, they were good.
Yeah, because they're full from the fiber
the fiber. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And on the other side, you're just drinking sugar. You know,
totally. So that's the thing. That's the difference between processed sugar and fruit sugar. Is that fruit sugar comes with, you don't want to juice your fruit. You want to eat your fruit to get that fiber, and that's what actually is holding you over.
Exactly.
So let me talk. I'll tell you a little bit about my theory behind sugar, and about bad food in general. And it's part of what our podcast is about, is clean eating, fitness, and the big thing, and I think one of the most important things first, is mindset.
Exactly.
Mindset's important for you to really focus on being strong and doing what you do, winning fitness competitions, and
mindset is huge.
Mindset is huge. So then the fact that we acknowledge that we're addicted to food. Like, I know you know, when I was addicted to sugar, and I'm sure it's like, once you're addicted, you're always addicted. This world has sugar everywhere. These damn gummy bears and Sour Patch Kids and all of this stuff. I mean,
and that's what we grew up eating. You know, we are all conditioned, you know, in because of our society to like that, because that's what our parents gave us. That's what we had with our friends.
It's in every store.
Yeah,
everywhere. Marketing all over the place. The packages. You know, the coolest packages out there is unhealthiest stuff for you.
Yeah.
So I mean, and knowing it's an addiction, you have to beat it. So the mindset is this: the first 3 days of getting off of sugar, or reading, really having a gate in what goes in your mouth, saying, does this have sugar? Or in turn too, bad carbs in general are completely addicting, right?
Yeah,
so in our
absolutely.
community, acknowledging that we're an addict, getting our mindset that I'm going to beat this thing. It may seem extreme, but when the studies that you're talking about, people relating sugar to drugs, how many drug addicts are like, when they're getting off of their addiction, how many of them are saying, I'm going to get off my addiction in moderation?
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. You're gonna come right back.
Totally.
You know?
So if someone like yourself and myself, right, when you've been clean for some time, if you and I eat a little bit of sugar, we're not going to immediately be addicted again, but we're used to this healthy lifestyle. But to get off sugar, to really get off sugar, it takes a mindset.
It does. You have to consciously make a choice. because it's everywhere. That and the goal needs to be greater than the what you're sacrificing, because you don't want the change in your life to happen after you've been diagnosed with some chronic disease. And so so that's usually the people that I see, is that once they're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? It's like, no, we can take this and you could prevent all of this by just making a choice now. And it just takes balance. You can have, like a guilty pleasure here and there. You just don't want to do it all the time. If you're going to have a birthday, or, you're going to have a little bit of cake, that's okay. You know what I mean? But doing it all the time and eating the crap all the time is what takes us there.
Let me tell you, the community is hundreds of thousands of people we've had in there.
Yeah.
And my fear of saying what you just said is like, it's okay to eat a piece of white bread here and it's okay to eat a cake here. Mm-hmm. You know what's going to happen if you tell people that they shouldn't eat any of that? They're going to eat it anyways. You know what happens when you tell people that you could have a piece of cake and a piece of bread? They're going to eat a lot more cake and bread than they should be. So one thing that I've seen change a lot of lives, literally change a lot of lives, is especially in the beginning of a transition from an unhealthy life to a healthy life, is really that first month saying, I am going to beat this, right? And people in the community have heard me talk about the Nintendo game. There's 2 buttons on it. There's power on and power off, and there's reset. And what happens is, you like I said, knowing that the study you just mentioned, that studies have said sugar is like cocaine. I say sugar is more like, if you're relating it to a drug, it's more like crack cocaine versus like bread being like, I think bread and these white worthless carbs that are actually making you fat, making you not fit in your clothes better. These things are really addicting. Knowing that, is it fair for us to tell someone trying to beat this addiction that it's okay to do some drugs? I mean, eat some sugar. So this is what I want, and I want to be real here. So, and I know there's different opinions out here, and some people would say I'm kind of extreme, but I've seen people. Yeah,
sometimes it takes extremes, but not everybody is the same. And
no, they're not going to be.
Yeah, they're not going to be. But if you're going to set those kind of parameters, I'm telling you, it'll be a lot less than if you did give them, I guess, a little bit of an edge.
So here's.
So I do agree.
So let's put it this way. So you're right. A lot of people in the 310 community too, they're losing weight in all kinds of different ways, because 310 is a lifestyle that's around clean eating, fitness mindset. But there's people in there doing keto. There's people in there that are doing I'm going to lose weight through calorie counting. They still do calorie counting, which you made a great point. I've never seen somebody get obese or overweight from eating too many veggies and fish and lean meats. Like, I've never seen it, right? So if you're really focused on it, you won't really. So there are a lot of people losing weight in different ways, but I would say the ones that are having the most results, for sure. I'm talking about losing pound a day every single day. I'm talking about how I went when I really learned about clean eating, went from 206 to 175 in less than 2 months, because literally not one thing went into my mouth, not one single thing. And you know what I found too when I was overcoming my own addiction to food, was that when I made sure that there wasn't, you know what happened when I started, after like a year or so, I got so used to the way I was eating, I started letting things creep back into my food system. And it started with a little bit. It's almost like drugs.
Exactly.
You'll do a drug. If you're an addict, you'll do it, say, once this month. Then it's going to go down to once a week. Then it's going to go down to once every 3 days. Then it's going to go down to once a day. This is a literal addiction we're talking about here with food.
I agree.
So what I want people to really understand is, yes, like there's a lot of weight loss products, diet products out there, like we know that meal replacement shakes, 310 is big on meal replacement shakes. We have the cleanest shake on the planet, right? We have products that map to
great. Using whole foods, using plant-based, a lot of fiber, a lot of vitamins and nutrients coming from actual food sources.
So to the point that if somebody replaces 2 junk food meals a day, and they're really replacing them, are they going to see some weight loss just by doing that? Of course, you're going to see a little bit of weight loss, but you're going to continually have this struggle of this craving of food. And so I would say the ones who take the brunt of it up front, meaning I am going to not let anything bypass into my mouth and into my body until it passes the is this good for me test, meaning no sugar, no worthless carbs, no processed food, no sucralose. And for those of you who don't know what sucralose is, that's Splenda. Like, if you just Google dangers of Splenda or Splenda and weight gain, people think out there because there's no sugar in it. There's some of these other things aren't real food. This is not from the earth. This is a chemical sugar.
And it hasn't been around long enough to see the the problems that come with it.
Let me chime in on that. And knowing what we've known, how many times has something been healthy 5 years ago we're finding out isn't healthy? And how many times have people said that something like a superfood, like an egg, isn't healthy, is going to increase your cholesterol when it's actually good cholesterol?
Yeah,
and it actually helps your cholesterol when you're, and there's studies out there that show when you eat 2 eggs a day that actually have, so the same, what your point is about the sucralose, it hasn't been around long enough to see that this man-made fake sugar it is actually, there's a lot of studies now starting to show that it is, but there's actually diet shakes and products out there that claim to be healthy that aren't, and some of them even are loaded with sugar and fructose. And they're supposed to be a something that is that's where I say it's important. That's what I love about the 310 community, is we really teach people to be label readers.
You have to be because when you have all that added sugar, there's so many problems that actually come along with it, that and it's not, it stems from making you overeat, but when you constantly do that, that's when you can that's when you develop diabetes. That's when you develop non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. That's when you get metabolic syndrome, and those are things. It's because it's just the chronic overuse of sugar, not realizing that it's in everything. Well, not everything, but a lot of things, and that's why you need to stick to whole foods. So by just eliminating it. So when you were mentioning all those other diets, the people who've seen the best results by switching to whole foods, what are we actually doing? We're really cutting the calories by sticking to whole foods.
That's right, because you're not eating as much even.
And you're cutting the sugar.
Yes.
That's one of the huge factors that you're getting. And let me tell you this, because sugar is also causes like inflammation.
Yes.
You can see that
feeds cancer even.
Yeah, feeds cancer. Your skin is gonna look better. You're gonna feel better. You're gonna have more energy. There is because of the addiction. When you purge cocaine or anything like that, what are you gonna do? You're gonna have that shaky feeling. Yeah, going through withdrawals. Same thing with sugar. So you will, for the first month, you will have some headaches.
Yes.
You will have those like intense cravings, but it will pass.
Yes. And then so can I tell you, absolutely. And the thing about it, I would say the real thing, I would say the number one thing that you can do to beat the sugar addiction, and in the end, the crappy carb addiction of the stuff that you don't need, the white rice, the white bread, even the wheat bread that you think is healthy, really is not healthy. It's not the same wheat bread that people were breaking bread 200 years ago. This is processed bread. These are empty carbs. But I think what it is let me talk to you about how are you going to beat this thing? And I'll tell you, I've personally helped thousands of people. You just go in the 310 community, beat their addiction to food, because you said something that when you're eating these healthy, are real food from the earth, plant-based food, lean meats, fish, avocados, eggs, superfoods. These are real foods. You're going to be filling your body with real, not empty carbs. So now you're not going to be eating as much. You're not going to be addicted all day. You're not going to be chasing food every 5 minutes to continually feed that addiction.
Bowl, like a bowl this big with veggies and the whole foods that you can eat the whole thing, and you will feel great, and you will realize that you actually wouldn't, with that volume, had it been something else, it would have been quadruple the calories,
exactly,
or more, because you're getting high fiber foods, high nutrient dense foods, and then it's like 90% water, so you're getting the volume that you need, you're getting the nutrients that you need, and the calories are cut down substantially.
So the biggest thing you can do to beat sugar, first off, is you're going to consume things. It's what you're going to consume. You shouldn't be drinking your calories. You should be eating them, unless you're taking all those veggies, putting them in a blender, throwing a scoop of protein or making a smoothie, and putting your ice in your almond milk or even your ice in your water or whatever it may be. And you could literally drink a whole salad.
Yeah, exactly. Because juicing is different than blending.
Very different.
Tell
us the difference in juicing.
Yeah, so basically when you juice, you are just cutting out all the fiber in there. So you're getting all the sugar, you know. But when you take the foods, when you take spinach or kale or whatever, you know, and you throw it in, make a green drink, throw in some lemon, throw, you know, water, and then throw in the scoop protein, you're actually taking all those foods and basically you're just masticating it before you put it in your mouth, you know. So you're getting 100% of what you need, and it will make you full. Also, you are still getting all the nutrients. By juicing it, you're just getting basically some of the vitamins and minerals and sugar.
Awesome.
You know?
Well, you know, one thing is you have very formal education, and you're also you're a fitness champ. You know how to get lean. You know how to what to eat and how to eat. But what I really want to talk about beating the sugar addiction. I think the first step I've not even joked is true. I almost say we need a AA for sugar. Like first, like I'm Tim and I'm a sugar addict. And that's the first step it takes to get the mindset and understanding I need to get off of this addictive substance and get over that. And I know that there's so many people out there that like to sugarcoat things, especially like diet companies and in your industry, personal trainers too, because they might not want to lose their clients by telling them the truth.
Yeah,
and some of them might even work
absolutely.
them out less hard, right, to make sure that they're just having a good time. But the truth is this. If you really want to beat it, treat it like an addiction. And the thing is, you will see fat melt when you cut out the worthless carbs. Good carbs are fine when you're talking about sweet potatoes when you're going to work out. But you know what else too about the carbs? You know what else gives you good energy is avocado, salmon, and real fats. Have you ever seen like fat catch on fire and burn? Like it has real fuel to it.
It does. So when even when you do more of a high fat, you know, because you have to get your calories also from somewhere, you know. But talking about cancer, you know, sugar does fuel the cancer cells. And say I got diagnosed with cancer today, I would immediately go on to like a ketogenic. You know, not that I am an advocate of that, but you're literally
pound of bacon
starving.
a day until you.
I mean, healthy fats.
Yeah,
you know,
healthy fats. Salmon, avocado,
salmon and avocado, some eggs. You know,
Totally.
those things are good. But yeah, you're actually starving the cancer cells by eliminating that. You know, in there, there's just such a huge impact that sugar has on your body. You know, even sleep. This is personal testimonies that I have with competition and my clients, is because this is the only time that I can actually control what they eat 100%.
Yeah.
And taking out the sugar has actually improved their quality of life. You know, and we're talking about like sleeping better. People who've had problems, they I don't know what's going on. I take melatonin, I take this and that, you know, to help me sleep.
Sugar.
Once we took out the sugar, they had the best sleep. You know, they's like, oh, I had like bad acne, adult acne. That started to clear up. And then after the competition, when they started, you know, going back to all the crap, then their skin started getting messed up again.
Wow.
You know.
So let's do this. I think we're almost 30 minutes into the podcast, and what I want to do is close this podcast with you're doing a no sugar challenge right now in the 310 nutrition community, right?
Yes, I am. So this is week 3 in the 310 July challenge. We this week is sugar, you know, and we are purging the sugar.
Awesome. So in the 310 nutrition community, there's no subscription. It doesn't cost anything. It's completely free. It's a purpose-driven community. Hundreds of thousands of people in there. Sure, you see it for sure all over the place. The 310 nutrition community. Have you seen results with ads with all kinds of celebrities? A lot of big influencers are in that community. But what also is in the 310 community is hundreds of thousands of people that are sharing real-world fitness, health tips, and results that have changed their lives. And you are taking the lead of that. You, Annie, Sierra, and our nutritionists and our fitness. And
with exercises, with nutrition tips, with challenges to help you, keep you accountable. And the community is so great, so positive that everybody keeps everybody else accountable.
And it's completely free. Like you know what I love about the 310 community? It's a community started with purpose. It's a community built by a seed of people that are passionate about clean eating, fitness, mindset, positivity, because what else is in the 310 nutrition community is, what you put in your body is what you get out of your body.
Absolutely.
But what you put in your mind, in between your ears, is the positivity is what gives you a better, more prosperous, happier life. But in that community, I want to implore you, I want to invite all of you to come you can go to 310podcast.com. If you haven't done that already, head over there. You'll find Alex's Instagram, Facebook pages, my Instagram, Facebook pages. You'll find access to the 310, so all the 310 social platforms. But if you could join one out of all of them, I would say get in that 310 Facebook group. That's the place where you're going to have access to Alex, free sugar. The no sugar challenge. We also do a ton of giveaways in there. We'll do something called the golden ticket, where people will fly out here to Vegas. You'll have a chance to win all kinds of, we make it really fun. Like learning about clean eating, mindset, fitness doesn't have to be a chore. It can be something with a conglomerate of people. You'll meet a lot of friends in there, and you with the same purpose and passion. And there's an invite button right inside the Facebook group where you can invite your friends completely free, where you guys can take all these challenges. Like Alex was saying, he has more than the no sugar challenge. You're doing weight workout challenges in there that have to do with, does it have to do with going to the gym or any expensive trainers?
These are exercises that you could do at home, on your own time, and scalable for every fitness level. So
there's so much in there that's even beyond the no sugar challenge you're doing now. So I really head to 310 Podcast. I look forward to seeing you guys in there. You'll meet Annie. She has a page, Health and Beauty with Annie. I would invite you to like the pages, follow the pages of all our 310 nutritionists, which none of them will be selling you any monthly subscriptions. There's nothing like that. This is literally, you can get, in this day and age with YouTube and companies like 310, like our company that's really focused around creating we're a community first company. Yeah, we have 310 nutrition products. We have 310 shake. We have 310 lemonade, which is naturally flavored, alkalizes your water. 310 shake, which is a super clean shake, no artificial sugars, we're major label readers. We have products that map to who we are. But what 310 is a community of people that are really focused around helping each other. The No Sugar Challenge, podcasts like this, the next podcast we're going to do is going to be about how capitalism infiltrated our food industry. And you're talking to an entrepreneur, somebody, I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, so there's nothing wrong with capitalism in the world. But when it comes into something like food, it's when the agenda changes, with
and
something that's so vital to life.
Absolutely.
Like food, it's different when it's the other things that, like a car or health, whatever it may be. There's no regulation in what's being put out there. And the next podcast, we're really going to talk about how capitalism had messed up our food industry. And we're going to talk about what products to eat, what products not to eat, how to really know what labels are right and what aren't. Because remember, if it comes from a manufacturing plant and not a plant, it's guilty till proven innocent. There's some amazing foods out there for sure that have that don't have sugar, that don't have artificial ingredients, don't have fake sugars like sucralose or Splenda that's in these healthy products, but are truly healthy. And you're going to learn that in the community. So I'll leave it at that. Go to 310podcast.com, follow all the social pages, all of our trainers. You'll never be sold any kind of fitness or monthly subscription or anything like that. You will get nothing but pure value. And I look forward to seeing you in the 310 community. Until next time, see you later.